On the issue of whether Make in India versus Make America Great Again, and whether there are going to be contradictions or collisions, so to speak, do you fear that maybe this could be an area which could get complicated?
I think everybody is asking that question now. How do you marry a desire to grow and expand a trading relationship against this? Honestly, politicians want to make sure that they can say to their voters, I'm building jobs for you, I'm growing the economy for you, I'm making sure that you have a strong future. Those are at some level apparently incompatible statements, but I think there is probably a good way to look ahead and see how growth in one area with one country can complement what's happening in the other side, in another country.
But how are people looking at the India story at this point? I know I've been following you on Twitter, and you did a poll on the Economist cover.
Twitter has its own dynamics to it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not going into the results of the poll or into the Economist cover, but how are people looking at the India story today?
I do worry a little bit that certainly in the United States, India often falls between two stools. India isn't an ally, so we don't have a kind of baked-in, formal, structured relationship the way we do with our NATO allies or the way we have with Japan or Australia. So India is not often the first country you dial on the phone when there's a major crisis or a major world question. India is also not a crisis. There isn't some big disaster happening in India that the world needs to try to fix or work on. India is not something like what you see unfolding in the Middle East. India is not Syria. So falling in between being an ally and being a crisis, it's sometimes harder to get on the radar screen. And that's what I've been a little bit concerned about. So I am happy to see that this summit-level meeting is taking place between the two leaders. That's great. I understand they should meet again on the margins of the G20.
G20,
I don't know how big of an agenda that will be. It's always a little bit harder in that kind of a context. But I'm glad to see at least the meeting is happening. Now, to try to stay on the radar screen and keep progress moving, that's kind of the next steps after people get through this week.